Welcome to Book Banter, classic and modern reads, where every page sparks a conversation. Here, we dive into timeless classics and today's best-selling novels, bringing thoughtful discussions, reviews, and reflections on the stories that shape us. Whether you're revisiting an old favorite or discovering a new book, we're here to explore the characters, themes, and timeless truths within every page. So, grab your favorite book, settle in, and don't forget to subscribe for more engaging conversations with us. Let's get started.
Ready to journey back to childhood on the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
We're doing a deep dive today into Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
A classic.
But get ready to go beyond those childhood hijinks. We're going to uncover the surprisingly timeless truths Twain wove into this thing.
Well, what's fascinating about Tom Sawyer is that it's more than just a fun read. It's really a commentary on society, morality, the human condition, really.
Yeah.
And it all unfolds against the backdrop of childhood.
Exactly. And speaking of childhood, Tom Sawyer himself, what a fascinating mix of mischief and surprisingly deep introspection at times.
He really is. And you see that early on, like right away with the whole whitewashing the fence episode.
Yeah.
On the surface, it's a funny prank, right?
Right.
But you look closer, and Twain's tapping into something very real about human nature.
Oh, yeah.
That yearning, that longing for what sees exclusive.
It's like he's hardwired to turn a chore into the hottest ticket in town, this kid.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how much of what we perceive as valuable is tied to, like, this idea of scarcity, social currency.
Absolutely. And that whole theme of social dynamics runs deep throughout the book. Think about those Sunday school tickets. I mean, bits of cardboard.
Right.
Transformed into these objects of desire, all thanks to a clever understanding of childhood hierarchy.
It's like Twain is showing us that the games we play as children, the things we value, they often reflect a deeper understanding of the adult world, deeper than we realize.
Precisely. And that's what makes his observations so insightful. He's not like patronizing his young characters, He's revealing the complex workings of human nature.
Yeah.
Even in its most playful form.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't shy away from the darker side of childhood either.
Right.
Take, for instance, the boy's fascination with superstition.
Oh, yeah.
Dead cats, warts, haunted houses.
Right.
It's almost like they create this alternate world, this world governed by these beliefs.
And isn't that part of what makes childhood so captivating, though? That ability to blur the lines between fantasy and reality.
Oh, yeah.
To find comfort, even power, in rituals and superstitions. It speaks to a very human need to explain the unknown, especially in a time when superstition held such sway.
And they use it to their advantage, don't they?
At the time.
Like when they stage their own deaths to escape Aunt Polly's wrath.
Oh, yeah.
They tap into the rumor mill of their small town, knowing it will spread like wildfire.
Right. It highlights their resourcefulness, but also how easily fear and misinformation can grip a community.
Yeah.
It's a theme that sadly feels as relevant today as it was in Twain's time.
It's like they're mini, social engineers.
Yeah.
Manipulating perceptions to get what they want.
Totally.
And speaking of manipulation, we can't forget Tom's elaborate attempts to win Becky Thatcher's affections.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve.
Oh,
Albeit dramatic.
His methods might be comical, but they reveal so much about the societal expectations placed upon young boys and girls, even back then.
Yeah.
Tom's expected to be bold, a bit mischievous even.
Right.
While Becky's bound by those constricting notions of propriety. Remember her reaction to the anatomy book and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Such a stark contrast to Tom's more nonchalant attitude.
Exactly. It underscores the double standards they face, shaping their understanding of acceptable behavior and their place within that societal structure.
It makes you think about how these early experiences, those seemingly insignificant childhood encounters, can leave a lasting mark.
Yeah.
Influencing our perceptions of gender roles and societal expectations.
And it's a testament to Twain's ability to weave such insightful social commentary into what, on the surface, appears to be a lighthearted adventure story.
But those adventures, they take a darker turn when Tom witnesses the murder of Doc Robinson.
Right.
And suddenly he's thrust into this world of moral dilemmas, grappling with guilt, fear, the weight of truth.
And this is where we see Tom's character truly deepen. He's no longer just a mischievous boy seeking adventure. He's really wrestling with his conscience. Remember that internal struggle he faces before deciding to testify?
Yeah, it's a powerful moment. Seeing him torn between the carefree world of childhood and the very adult consequences of what he witnessed.
And it highlights the complexities of truth and justice, especially within a small community quick to judge and even quicker to place blame. Think about the courtroom scene. The way public opinion shifts so easily between Muff Potter and Injun Joe.
It's almost like a cautionary tale about the power of perception
Yeah.
and the fragility of justice, even in a seemingly simple world.
Right. Twain really holds a mirror up to society, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Showing us how easily we can be swayed by fear, by prejudice.
No, absolutely. And that theme of, like, social pressure versus individual freedom
Right.
plays out in such interesting ways throughout the story.
It does.
I mean, here's Tom stuck in the middle of this murder trial,
Right.
caught between doing what's right
Yeah.
and facing the potential backlash, like, of his community.
It's a classic dilemma, isn't it? To conform or to follow your conscience, even when it's hard.
Yeah.
And this tension between societal expectations and personal desire isn't limited to Tom.
Right.
I mean, let's not forget Huck Finn.
Oh, you're right. Huck, the ultimate outsider,
Right.
always chafing against those constraints of respectability, even when he's offered a comfortable life.
Yeah, yeah.
With the widow Douglas, he can't quite shake that yearning for freedom.
Yeah, that's the paradox of Huck, isn't it? He craves that acceptance, that stability that Tom seems to navigate so effortlessly.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, he's drawn to the unfettered life out on the river.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if true freedom is something we're born with, or something we constantly struggle to define for ourselves.
It's that push and pull
Yeah,
between belonging
yeah,
and breaking free.
right.
And speaking of breaking free, there's that incredible moment when Tom and Huck, they run away to become pirates.
Oh, what an escape.
Right.
Trading those, stifling social rules. Yeah, for a life of adventure on Jackson's Island.
Yeah.
It's like a mini rebellion against everything that represents constraint and conformity.
And who hasn't dreamt of running away to an island at some point?
Right.
But even in their escape,
Yeah.
there's this underlying, need for connection.
Absolutely. And it surfaces most poignantly when Tom sneaks back
Yes.
to ease Aunt Polly's worry.
Oh, yeah.
That act of compassion, even amidst their grand adventure, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's such a tender moment, especially after all of Tom's mischief. It reminds us that he's not all, bravado and bluster. He's got a good heart underneath it all.
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of those emotional bonds, even for someone like Tom, who seems to thrive on independence, excitement. It's almost as if Twain is suggesting that even the most adventurous spirits need a place to call home.
Yeah.
People who love them unconditionally.
Speaking of adventures, their time on Jackson's Island kind of takes a back seat
Oh, yeah.
to a much more perilous situation, getting
Right.
lost in those caves.
Oh, man. Twain really knows how to build suspense, doesn't he?
Well, tell me about it.
That sense of claustrophobia, the dwindling candles, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
He puts us right there with them, in the darkness.
It's like he's tapping into something primal,
right.
that fear of being trapped and alone,
Yeah.
and amplifying it through the eyes of these children.
And it's in those moments of utter despair that we see the true mettle
Yes.
of these characters.
Yeah.
Becky succumbs to fear,
Yeah.
while Tom, ever resourceful, refuses to give up hope.
That image of him, searching for a way out, clinging to that kite string as a lifeline, it's such a powerful, metaphor for resilience.
It really is. And let's not forget the symbolism of that kite string, too.
Oh, yeah.
Such a simple, everyday object, transformed into a beacon of hope in their darkest hour.
It's like a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected things
Right.
can lead us back to the light, back to safety,
Yeah.
and that moment of relief when they finally emerge from the caves.
Oh, I bet.
It's palpable, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole town's erupts in celebration.
Yeah.
It speaks to that deep-seated human need for connection, for community.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that, even in a world that's often driven by self-preservation, we find solace and strength in shared experiences.
Yeah.
In those bonds of compassion and concern. You see it in their joy in Aunt Polly's relief. That collective sigh of a community that had, feared the worst.
But that shadow of Injun Joe still kind of lingers.
Right.
Even as the town celebrates, his fate adds another layer to this whole idea of justice and retribution.
It does. His demise alone, trapped in the very darkness he sought to use against others, it feels both tragic and inevitable in a way.
Right.
It's a stark reminder of how destructive the thirst for revenge can be.
Yeah.
How holding on to anger can ultimately consume us.
It's like Twain is drawing a parallel between Injun Joe's fate and Tom's choice to testify,
Right.
to risk his own safety for the sake of truth.
Precisely. While Injun Joe succumbs to bitterness and anger, Tom, despite his flaws, his youthful indiscretions, ultimately chooses compassion and forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message about the paths we choose and the consequences they carry.
And speaking of consequences, let's talk about that ending.
Oh, yeah.
Tom and Huck, those little rascals.
Right.
They strike it rich, like every kid's dream come true, stumbling upon buried treasure.
It is a moment of, like, pure triumph, isn't it? A reward for their bravery, their resourcefulness,
Yeah.
their unwavering belief in the possibility of something extraordinary.
Right.
And yet Twain doesn't leave us just basking in that glow of, newfound wealth.
Right.
He throws in a curveball.
He does.
Huck's struggle to adjust to a life of respectability.
Ah, yes. Huck Finn, the eternal square peg in a round hole. It's almost heartbreaking to see him grapple with the Widow Douglas's, well-intentioned but stifling
Right.
attempts to civilize him.
Yeah. And there's a profound truth in that struggle, isn't there? About the allure of freedom, the difficulty of conforming to societal expectations that don't align with who we are at our core.
Yeah.
It begs the question, can we ever truly find happiness by being someone we're not?
That's a question that resonates far beyond the pages of Tom Sawyer, would you say?
I think so.
It's something we all grapple with in some form or another.
At some point, yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Adventures of Tom Sawyer, what's the takeaway?
Ooh.
What's that one enduring message that Twain leaves us to ponder?
I think for me, it's the power of perspective,
Oh, yeah.
Twain reminds us that even within the, seemingly carefree world of childhood, there are these complex emotions, difficult choices, enduring truths about ourselves and the world around us.
Yeah.
It's a story that invites us to look beyond the surface,
Yeah.
to find the extraordinary within the ordinary.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And perhaps, just perhaps, it reminds us to hold on to that little spark of Tom Sawyer within ourselves.
Oh, I love that.
That sense of adventure, that resilience, that belief in the possibility of something more.
Indeed. Because who knows what treasures we might uncover if we're brave enough to, venture beyond our own whitewashed fences.
Right.
And explore the uncharted territories of our own lives.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those inner flames of curiosity burning bright.
Modern Reads. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you love this conversation, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into both classic literature and today's must-read books. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what book you'd love to see next. We release new episodes every week, so stay tuned for more. Until next time, happy reading.